Welcome back, the old two-stroker YouTube channel. Today, we're digging into this friggin' 359 Pete that I got with a 12 V71. That's right, a V12. You know we like those around here. So, we got it to run in the last video, but it was only getting warm. The exhaust was only warm on the one bank. The entire right bank of the engine's stone cold. Not 1 degree above ambient, which is very cold right now. I got a hunch the exhaust is plugged, so I'm gonna fire it up and I'm gonna get up on there and see if if the exhausts are kind of blowing evenly. That might be what it is, so let's hop to it. I just don't think that's the case, fellas. Means we gotta be dealing with some kind of fuel deal. I guess I got the helmet cam on. Let's go dig into it. All right, fellas. Well, if it ain't air, the next thing is fuel, right? So we're gonna work our way down the line from easiest to fix to worst to fix, starting with fuel. Now, I find it very hard to believe that every cylinder on this bank has no compression, or like very little compression. It seems more like to me that they would all be not getting fuel or something like that, as maybe like a collapsed line here would affect the entire side, or maybe a plugged outlet. Now it's not looking great here because this should be full of fuel. Definitely getting fuel out. Some, anyway. I mean, who knows how much. These lines are super crusty. Like, it's gonna need these lines no matter what. Boy, I'd really like to test fuel pressure up here on the engine while it's running, you know? So you can see our inlet fitting there. That's our return. It goes over across the other side. Same as Nuggy's truck, actually. It goes over here and tees in there. There's got to be a restriction fitting there. Maybe it's not making the restriction. That could be a thing. So I guess first things first, let's check. We're going to check outlet pressure right here. I'm going to go with the lube. We'll spray that down, we'll get a gauge on that and see what it looks like here. And then hopefully we'll have a little bit better idea about what's going on. Oh, sick, I didn't even need the spritz. First time for everything, folks. It's better if you don't get shit in this line because it goes right to the injector. So we're gonna try our best not to get any shit in it. Jesus Christ, we'll get shit everywhere else, I guess. Let me go get my fuel pressure tester. Click. Let's fire this thing up and see what our fuel pressure is. Unfortunately, it's only going to tell us at idle. I don't want to go ramming on it yet. Got fuel pressure. Like nothing, dude. So we got pressure at the filter head. The only way to actually see what those injectors are getting. Let's see. Go, gadget, 1/2-inch wrench. Let's do this. What we're gonna do is fire it up, and then I wanna see what kind of pressure is getting to the actual injectors. So we'll just like pull one of those. I believe I can get it. We'll do that while it's running and see what we get. Fire's right up. Ain't really getting any fuel out of that, am I? That's got some. That's got some. Well, it's getting fuel. I mean, at least it's getting some fuel. I've never had one with like this cylinder, this bank be this cold before. Like the entire bank. It makes no sense. I mean, I guess I'll crawl under it and undo the exhaust and just see. It's bizarre that it fires immediately. These are kind of warm. This one, the back one especially, there's nothing there. Like absolutely nothing. And I have a hard time with that. I have a very hard time with that. That makes my brain struggle, boys. Hell, it ain't hard. I mean, dude, that ain't bad slobber-wise for the amount of running we've done. And for the amount of time that this thing's just been sitting there. I'll just try to pull the exhaust and go from there. That's all I can do. Oil doesn't seem that aerated this time. I wonder if it just... Oh, yeah, it does. Over there, it does. Dang it, fellas. Well, at least it's not tight. You boys making any bets on this deal? I don't think this is it. Here's what we got. It's either this or we got like stuck rings or something on this side. I don't know. I just don't know. We're gonna find out here right now. Exhaust is free. Let's see what we get. And unfortunately, we can't get it warm to check to see if we can free the stuck rings, if that's what it is, because the damn radiator's blowing out of it. Damn exhaust make your eyes bleed, fellas. It's still pretty smoky. I wonder if he got this side hot or something. All right, I got my screwdriver. Got air pressure. And look at it. No difference. No difference. No difference. It's not making any difference. Nothing. Like Donnie's was the same thing. Maybe the rack is just that far off. Now I'm friggin' covered in oil. Maybe the rack is just that far off. It sure didn't seem like it. All right, we'll run the rack tomorrow and see what we get, or the next time we're out here. Man, I wouldn't think it was that, it would be that bad, but it don't look it when you full throttle it. Like if you rip on it, that injector's tight, boys. So maybe what's happening is maybe our throttle pedal's bottoming out and we're not actually getting full throttle. And so it seems like the racks are adjusted properly, but they're not. I'm gonna have to reinvestigate this in the daylight because what's happening ain't making any sense. We definitely have power over here. I mean, yeah, it's cold and it when you rev it, it smokes, but the engine responds instantly, which tells me there's nothing actually wrong over here other than fuel delivery. So we'll reinvestigate this the next time we can get out here. It's not gonna be tomorrow. We'll see. I'll see what we get. I'll keep you posted.
One eternity later.
Those polished at one point. They look like they probably were pretty nice. So what I think we've got going on here, other than a complete mess of wires run over, they shouldn't be run over. And it just feels like to me like this is bottoming out. Maybe it ain't, but get a 7/16 and a half, and we're gonna take this throttle linkage off there and then see if the rack travels any better. Oh boy, so let me put that on with the friggin' holding the truck together, boys. At least it ain't seized up like it was on the cracker box. And then what we're gonna do is give her all the way. Nope, first. No, it's not the rack, or it's not the throttle linkage. That is indeed where the governor wants to stop. So I guess let's get some, now that we got this dialed, we'll get the get vice grips on here, lock it in the full fuel position, and get the valve covers off, get a look at our rack again. Let's do that. I also want to look at fuel filters because we've discovered an issue. Donnie's truck, that cab over that we got running, if you remember, it was also having some fueling issues. And what we discovered is the fuel canister on that is completely wrong for the filter housing. And I'm wondering if it's the same kind of problem here. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to pop this off of here too and just get a look at it and see if it's the same kind of deal. I don't even know if I have filters for this, but we're going to find out the hard way here, folks. Everything's a hammer if you use it wrong enough. Oh yeah, that's gonna be our problem. Jesus, I'm like very dirty all of a sudden. So you see that center O-ring is blown out? Well, let me show you why, I think. So here's what we're gonna do. I'll try to get this filter out of here. Oh boy, she's greasy. Oh, it needs a filter bad, holy f. Wow. All right, well, she's getting a filter. I think I might have those here. Oh, God. Oh, so this does have the upper port. Jesus Christ, look at the shit in that thing. Boys, it was overdue for a filter. My theory with these is what's going on. So if you look at the bottom one is what does the sealing. It keeps the fluid separated in the filter between that lower O-ring and this upper O-ring. Well, fellas, I went to the Horde. Look what I found. Spin-on filter housings. Brand new set of filters. What a treat. Look at this, boys. I never get to use this set. Oh, yeah, that's a treat. Yes. I am loving this deal. Oh, yeah. Fellas, if you ain't got a set of these sockets and you deal with this kind of fitting, change your life. It'll change your life, fellas. Dude, that would have sucked with a wrench. All right, I need these fittings for the other housing. That looks really small to me. It just doesn't look right. Focus, Wayno. Ain't here for that. Oh boy, that's tight. Ooh, fuel system's sealed up pretty good in this thing. I can hear it. There we go. There's that one. Oh boy, that is crispy. It's not here for that, Wayno. Focus. Come on. There we go. Oh boy. Look at that. Pretty pumped on that deal, boys. It never happens. Sealed up pretty good. Yeah, so now because we let air in there, it's bleeding all the fuel out of the pump back. That line goes to the pump. Comes from the pump to go into here. So it just bled all the fuel back, so it is what it is. We're gonna get this canister off of here next. So why I'm taking these off first, it's a lot easier the way these, my biggest gripe with these filter canisters is the way they're, oh boy, that's the OG one, is the way they're held on there. What do you want to bet that dude has them swapped? I bet he's got the primary canister. I bet you. I gotta look at that now. I bet you that's what's wrong with Donnie's truck. Nope, it's different. Huh. Let's go get a look at this. This ought to be pretty good, considering the condition of the secondary. Actually, looks a lot better than the secondary did. It smells a lot better too. It just smells like old fuel, which, you know, Uncle Wayno loves that smell, boys. Oh yeah, it's pretty schmooey though. Greasy, Julian. We're not gonna reuse any of this. But what I'll do is I'll assemble the filters, the setups back, and just throw them on the bench, and that way I have them in case I need them. Now I need a 9/16. Hopefully we can use the gun. See, those lower ones are the ones. And you can get them. You can get them now because there ain't a filter on it, but with the filters on, it's pain in. So this one, we're gonna have to wrench that off there. Maybe I can, might be lucky. Boys, working on this part of a Detroit always sucks. Oh, you can't hardly get your hand in there. Oh, jeez. So this filter was down lower before, and they moved it for some reason. That seems odd to me. I wonder why they would do that. Oh, that's much easier. This looks like some idiot drilled that. Those two holes there. I don't know why they did that. We're gonna put it back where it was. None of that looks right to me anyway. It doesn't look square. The housing, it's just looks like the holes are crooked with the frame rail, which means Peterbilt didn't put that there. What's on these lower bolt holes? I don't understand this. There's nothing on them other two bolt holes, so they moved, for some reason they moved that. It ain't in any danger of hitting nothing. I'm gonna spin the filter on the new one, bring it out here and get a look at, just see where everything ends up. Where would they have moved them from? I think they would have been up on the engine. If I remember right, on a 12, they should have been up here on a bracket, if I remember correctly. But they probably moved them when they did the power steering, because now my power steering reservoir's up there. Let's see if we can get one of the correct Pete ones. And a pump. I'll have to get a pump. I mean, I guess it can go back there. You see how them bolts ain't square? It's rotated this way on the frame rail. And my only thought is they mounted it too close to that, would be my guess. And then when you went over a bump, it hit. All right, I'm not gonna worry about it for now. Let's get this other housing off of here first. It's just got all 4 bolts in it. Oh, big time. This one's gonna be tricky because this is not in a fun location. So you can't get your arm up in these because the, what do you call it's in the way? The oil filters, the oil filter housing is all jammed up in the way there. Maybe I come in over here. Yeah, we can get it. I try not to break stuff free with my ratcheting wrench because that's how you break ratcheting wrenches. The only other thing I could see them being worried about is this hose being too close to the... Maybe that was it. Maybe it was the hose they were worried about. I don't know. I was just saying, don't break stuff free with your ratcheting wrench. I lost a nut. Slip right through my finger, must be. This one just needs to be broke free here. There we go. Alright, 2 of those now. These are the real test, is these flowers. Well, you know what? I'm going to break all these lines free first. All these years, all of a sudden you're asking them to turn. Let me go get some spritz. Much better. Let's see if we can get these off here. What the? It's got battery. Bro, this thing's making terrible sounds. As soon as I get it up in here, it probably ain't gonna work no more. I'm only a little bit covered in fuel. Could be worse. Alright. We'll go bring this inside and we'll change these over. Alright, our secondary housing, got all the fittings out of it. They're transferred over to our new secondary housing, facing the correct ways. Time to do the primary, and here's the primary. But I wanted to show you something. This is why we convert from cartridge filters to spin-ons. Look at the gasket. There's no way that was sealing properly. And so what that means is this entire filter head is under suction. So you're gonna get air in the fuel. These things are a fucking nightmare to get that gasket right. For whatever reason, nowadays, they can't make a gasket, and it's always a struggle. So, spin-ons are 120% the way to go. We're definitely gonna fix a problem doing this. Whether or not it was the problem we're after, I don't know, but there will definitely be less air in the fuel, because that is no bueno, fellas. All right, kids, after looking at this, I'm not gonna mess with it. We're just gonna jam this filter back where it was. I did come out and check it. Everything clears just fine. It'll just be a little bit nicer where it was. So I'm just gonna put it back. Yeah, it ain't too bad to get in place. I think we could probably back that off a little bit too. We're gonna see when we get there. It turned out to be a much easier job than you would have thought. Just, you never know how the bolts are gonna break or it's gonna fight you, and then it's actually pretty friggin' mint, so we might have to adjust that one. I'm not sure I'm gonna be happy with that where it is. Click. Now, this, we're gonna have to look at this and I just wanna make sure the tire can't hit it. I'm not sure I like it. Look at how nice that lined up. Friggin' nailed that one. I figured we'd just get these canisters mounted first. I don't think but that could almost back off quite a bit. Hoping that doesn't screw me. I think I'm gonna back that off a little bit more and get it tighter in there. It doesn't need to be sticking out that far. I think that'll work. Next is gonna be this one. Boys, it gets dark so friggin' early. Can't get nothing done. It's always friggin' dark. So one of these I lost a nut. It's pretty friggin' inconvenient. Found it kicking around on the rail. Definitely getting the gun. Alright, it's ball game. Get the hoses on it. We'll go get filters and fill them with fuel. Maybe what I can do is we'll pull the return line off and suck and vacuum through it like we did before. That's probably not a bad idea. And then, geez, that line is still flexible. It's bizarre. So the rest of them are toast. Alright, maybe what we'll do is just pull this one and suck a vacuum through it, and that'll pull all through the primary. Maybe we'll do that. Alright, bring you back. I'm gonna go get filters. Alright, I got it. Put a half quart of training fluid in it. And rest of this fuel wife got. It's freshy fresh. Oh yeah, that feels better, don't it, baby? Click. Alright, let's get the next one. Same deal, it's got a bunch of training fluid in it also. Click. Now the real question, do we try to start it or do we suck a prime first? Probably gonna try to suck a prime first. Alright fellas, this is gonna have to wait for another day. We are completely out of light. It's probably 3:30 in the afternoon. Okay, I'll bring you back when we're ready to start. I'm gonna pull the valve covers next time it's daylight and we'll go from there. Oh, next day boys. Boy, do I got a freaking treat for you. Check this out. Oh, this just came in the mail. Y'all like these green beanies so much. We did another, I couldn't get the green ones, but I did get some. So these are black, which not as cool as the green, but dude, you can't stain them. I mean, can't's a strong word. Look at that. Hot off the presses, fully embroidered. None of that dumb. You can see my oldest one here. He's got a stupid thing. Embroidery. Way cooler. Let's see how they look on my dumb ass. Nice and warm too. How about that? These are going live right now. Old2stroker.com. Get yours in stock while they last. I've only got one freaking box, so get them while they're hot. If they do well, we'll reorder. In the meantime, that's gonna be months, so get them while you can. Let's get to working on that Pete. All right. Well, last time we ran this thing, you guys watched me check the oil, I think, before we started it. Anyway, I know I checked the oil before we started it, and dude, it was way higher than that. And it occurred to me, I was talking to Brandon, I'm like, man, it's really weird that the way the oil pressure gauge was acting, and it seemed like it had air in the oil, blah, blah, blah. And Brandon's like, dude, it's low on oil. And I'm like, it's not low on oil, dude. I checked the dipstick. Well, I checked it again after we had shut it off, and it sat for a while. And I think what happened is, because this thing sat so long, it's been sitting since the 90s, the engine was completely drained of oil. So absolutely every bit of oil was in the pan, which includes the lubrifiner, which holds like an extra 2 gallons. So I think that's why we're low. I got a bunch of oil here. We're gonna fill it up, but I'm hoping that was my my problem. Yeah, molasses, boys. I don't know if you could tell what that pours like, but 40 weight don't f around in the winter. It's just basically sludge. Now, what you didn't see me do was I did pull the drain plug. I didn't get it on camera, but I did pull a drain plug and check it for water in the basement, and there was none. So that's very good. So what we're gonna do now is just I'm gonna put 2 gallons in it before we even go any further. Boy, this friggin' 40 weight flows like shit. It's also like 27 degrees, maybe 30. As you can tell, it looks like a winter wonderland and nothing's melting. So yeah, I know it says Rotella on it. It's 40 weight. I have it in a 55 gallon drum, and I keep these Rotella jugs just as something to pour it in. So we're almost out of dead dinosaurs. Oh, that's better. We're at least to the low mark. Maybe in another 20 minutes. That'll be at the high mark. But so the problem with these is these automotive V12 pans are much smaller in capacity than an industrial V12 oil pan. So that's why only being 2 gallons down will make such a huge difference in oil pressure, etc. The oil don't even look bad, boys. Huh. That should get us back to where we need to be. Let's go give it some power in the cab and see what we get. Here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna trip that because I don't have anything hooked up to the governor as far as vice grips or anything, so I want to make sure we're gonna be good. I'm gonna set the throttle linkage back up. Didn't have any trouble with that. I'll set that back up. The shutdown works. I just checked it. I just want to try to crank it a little bit. We're gonna crank it first in the no fuel position. You can see that out there. That was, but it was on. I can hear injector squeakage. Does not mean we have any cheech. However, it looks like we're getting smoke out of all the exhaust joints, so that's very good. I think it liked it better with less air. A little bit of smoke coming out of there. Getting some fuel out of it. What's that now? What are you doing to me here? Ooh, that one's hot. Son of a diddly. That's where our friggin' issue is. I think we're gonna have to spritz it. You're gonna need a little more than a little, I think. It's warm. Problem is, I think I need somebody to be able to spritz it while I'm cranking. That's really what it needs. She is cranking hella slow. I don't know if she's gonna go today, boys. It's freaking cold. I mean, we only had this thing running for a second. Wish there was a quicker place to get it in. That would be infinitely helpful right now. I need somebody to spritz it while I crank it. How's this thing work? I could We could try this. Oh my god, it smells like... No way. Is that thing gasoline? Oh no. It smells like 100-year-old gas. There ain't no way that's gonna start. Oh, you know what? That heats the cooling system anyway, and it don't have any coolant in it. So that isn't gonna work. Just pull the whole thing off and get a look in the inlet and just make sure we're not overlooking something. I don't think there's anything in there that's gonna like keep it from starting or anything like that, but I just wanna make sure it's not like super dirty or something. Oh, it smells like ether. That's weird. It's clean in there at least. All right, boys, I got some pipe jammed in it. Goes right to the door. Elbow fitting on it. Oh boy. But it'll allow me to crank it. Jeez, man. Well, that's the end of that for today. All right, we have got our, should have everything hooked up. Returns back on. Man, that's definitely better. Let's see, shutdown still work? Sure does. I got way better oil pressure. Nothing. Still cold on this side. I really hope that was going to be mostly fuel. Freezing out, folks. Definitely seems better. Oh yeah. We're just gonna see how that is. Let it run for a minute or two. That definitely seems better. That side's a little hazy, but you gotta remember last time we ran it, it wasn't really doing anything. That seems much better. They're all pretty cold, but it's freezing out, so I'm not overly concerned about that. We got all the oil pissies. This doesn't have a fuel pressure gauge. Does the power steering work? No. Nah. Can't say I'm overly surprised about that. It's pretty crisp. That's much better. Sick. I think we got her licked, boys. That's all it was fuel pressure. Oh man, it ain't even hardly slobbering. Yeah, dude, we got it cleaned up. I've never had one do that where it was only smoky on one side because of a fuel problem. I've never had that happen. I guess I could say that now I have. Dude, look at it. That's way better. Oh yeah. She's getting heat in her. It feels like it's pretty even side to side now. That side might be a little warmer still. think it moves? Still got great oil pressure now. We were only seeing like 20 before. Oh, it's super crisp. We got good fuel pressure, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what this clutch is gonna do. It had this pretty serious mouse nest in it. Woo, went into gear. Do we think it'll move? Trying. Sick. Ooh, there she goes. We got her broke free now. Oh yeah. Ho ho ho, boys! We got us a runner and a driver. Oh, I can't wait to take it for a rip around the yard. Dude, so much better. Oh yeah. Ow! We definitely got it. Yeah! Oh man, I was worried about that. She's waking up from her slumber, fellas. We got brakes released, it moves. Yes! See, now when I moved it before, this wheel was locked up. You can see where it dragged. That was, we had to move it back so it didn't get, I didn't want to bust the hood up with snow off of the roof when we got all that snow. So I dragged it back with a skid steer. And I noticed this tire was dragging. But now, oh, what a treat this thing is. I love this truck already, boys. It's just running great. I'm gonna shut it off. I don't want to get it hot. I got no coolant in it, so. Man, that thing is struggling. I don't want to get it too hot, but that was just an absolute major success right there. Let's let it set about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'll bring you back. And what we'll do is fire it up and see if it maintained fuel prime or if we have a line issue somewhere or something. It's been sitting probably 15 minutes. Let's see how or if it starts. Wow. That's what we're looking for. No stumble. I was waiting for that like out of fuel stumble. Boy, that's running nice. Just got a touch of slobber. I ain't mad at that. Nothing coming out of the blow by. Perfect, boys. All right, I'm gonna end this one off here. Tomorrow what we're gonna do, we will see how it shuts off. I think that electric shutdown needs an adjustment. Yeah, she just doesn't want to shut off. We'll end it off here for now. Tomorrow what we'll do is we're gonna bring the batteries inside, we'll charge them overnight, and then tomorrow, now that we know we have fuel prime, we'll come out and give it a cold start and see how it actually does. All right, fellas. I even put the hood down. I had to look at it with the hood down because I think it looks friggin' awesome. But I charged the batteries overnight. I thought maybe you deserved a friggin' cold start. Hopefully a real one this time. So, I haven't ethered it yet. We're gonna try it unaided and see how it does. Let's go. All right, boys and girls, that's gonna do it for this absolute beast of a truck for now. Our next step with this is going to be, we got to get a radiator in it so we can put some runtime on it, which most likely means what we're going to do is the entire cooling system. I've got to figure out a radiator. That's not going to be fun. This preliminary looks very expensive. I believe it's a different core from the rest of the 359s, so we're going to have to deal with that. But I don't want a chance hurting the motor because it just runs fantastic. We have successfully fixed our cold side of the engine problem. The thing runs absolutely amazing. I'm very excited for it to start the way it started, completely unaided. Let me give you an idea. When I came out here, it's afternoon, the warmest it's going to get, it's like 30 degrees. And it was like low 20s, maybe even in the teens last night. I had to ask my wife because she's the one that runs in the morning, not me. Super pumped about how this thing performed. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. Let it be a lesson to you. Fuel filters are important. I've never seen one only affect one side of the engine before, but apparently it's a thing. Anyway, thank you for watching. Huge shout out to the patrons, much appreciated. Don't forget, we got our badass Detroit diesel emblems now and our freaking brand new beanies. Go get them. Thank you again for watching. old2sugar.com. We'll see you in the next one.